lovelies. So today I'm going to be making a clay face stuffed animal. So I've already made him. He's facing me because he's a little camera shy. But we are going, I already made it, but I'm going to show y'all how I did it. I watched Rattus. I got a lot of inspiration from Rattus. They're really cool. Definitely check out their channel. They are so creative and I get like so much creative like ideas from them, so definitely go watch them. But yeah, I've always been interested in like clay face stuffed animals because like they're just like super cute, and I never thought that I could make it for some reason because like I don't know, it seemed too difficult, but it's actually really simple. And I used like the knowledge that I had from making my other projects like the Coraline doll, manipulating like clay. I learned how to do that with like this doll, or I used that knowledge from making that doll to making this plush. Also with making my magnets, it helped me realize how to make the eyes. So yeah, I will definitely go into it with you guys and I will show y'all step by step how I did it. And yeah. So y'all know I love to pretend like I'm in the 18th century, so I lit up my little cat pumpkin candle thing, you know, to have some aesthetic vibes or Halloween vibes going on, because it's like almost Halloween and September is like the pre-game to October. So before I began, I made like all these different designs. So all of these designs are teddy bears that I bought from the thrift store. The highest ranging from $4, the lowest ranging from $1, which is the bear that I am working with right now. I would definitely suggest using or going to the thrift store and buying these stuffed animals, because buying stuffed animals, it can be expensive. So definitely go to the thrift store and find the cheapest one, but also teddy bears or bears or like any animal that like resonates with you. So here's the one that I decided to choose first. I chose them because they were the cutest in my opinion, and I knew that I wanted my first one to be the one that I really liked. So yeah, the tag says $1, and yeah, I was like so excited that it was like only $1, but I was also kind of sad because it was like, it's so cute. Why did they like price it that low? But yeah, I'm glad they did for my benefit, I guess. Also, y'all can really see me struggle trying to take that tag off, but yeah, I eventually did get it off, as y'all can see. So, as everyone knows, here is the saddest, most depressing part of doing this project. I felt like such a fucking monster cutting its face off. But yeah, I eventually got it off, and I'm keeping the face for if I ever want to use it in a future project. The face still lives on. It can live on through another stuffed animal if I choose to use it for that. And coming up is my favorite aluminum ASMR. So with the aluminum, it's acting as like a strong base to hold the clay face for. So there's like stuffing that's not allowing it to rest good inside of the head. So I do have to remove some of the stuffing a little bit, and I will later add more back into it once it fits. Also, it was too small, so I added more foil later. It was kind of hard to combine them together, but I eventually did get it. It was just like a little bit loose. But it doesn't really matter because once you put the clay on, it just like kind of combines them together like a glue. So yeah, once you get the clay on, it should be fine if you do need to make it bigger. So as y'all can see, the foil now fits inside the head of the plush, and you don't want it to be too big because you want to put the like skin of the doll once you like finish making the clay part to be able to like glue it down. Also, I'm really glad that I bought these like cookie cutter things. I bought this because I wanted to make earrings. That never happened, but I'm glad that I had this for this project because I am terrible at cutting stars, as y'all will see later. But yeah, now I'm using the same clay that I used for my Coraline doll. It's just like polymer clay that I got from Michael's. So someone on my Coraline comments said that if I need to make it softer, I could add mineral oil, like a little bit of it, or baby oil. So I totally forgot that they had commented that. I just remembered now that they did say that. But yeah, there's a tip for you. So as y'all can see, I struggled again trying to get it soft, but yeah. If you try the baby oil or mineral oil, let me know how that works, if it makes it softer for you. Also, the person that commented that was at YoSnap. Once I got it into a little ball, I used my handy dandy candle. And you can basically use whatever round object you have. This is just what I had in my arm's length. But yeah, anything should work just to be able to like smooth the clay out and just to go around the foil of the aluminum face part. I noticed that the clay wasn't long enough to fit around all of the foil, so I basically like stretched it out like a pizza to make it hopefully fit over the foil better, and it actually did fit a little better on the foil. It didn't reach like all the parts of the foil, but that's okay because it'll be covered up by the fur. For the eyes, I'm using like a similar process that I use for making magnets. Just with magnets, I like to make my own, either my own design or use images from comic books. So if you want to be creative and like add little designs or images into the eyes, I think that would be really cool. But yeah, basically I got like these round circular jewels from the Dollar Tree. They're called like, I think, glass jewels. I think they are made out of glass, but yeah, I traced them around like cardstock to get the different colored eyes. And then I'm using Mod Podge. I really love the glittery Mod Podge because then it obviously glitter. So Mod Podge is basically glue that like dries clear. So that's why I really love it using for projects like these. So I add like a thin layer of Mod Podge onto the actual paper and then a thin layer onto the actual jewel of it. And you don't want to put too much because then you can actually see the Mod Podge. So yeah, definitely use like a moderate to light layer of Mod Podge. While I'm waiting for the eyes to dry, I'm using my star cookie cutter to cut out the eyebrows of the plush. So here's how the eyes look. They're not completely dry in this clip, but yeah, I really love how the eyes turned out. I'm really glad that I used the glittery Mod Podge. Here is another disturbing part of the clay face process is like trying to force the eyes inside of the polymer clay. Like that was so weird. Like I felt very weird doing that, but the end result was like really cool. So in the next clips, I'm adding more polymer clay to the face of the bear. I'm adding a nose and mouth, little plush cheek marks, and of course the star eyebrows. Then he was ready to go in the oven. So I set the oven for 275 degrees for 25 minutes. Always check your packaging and see how long your directions say for your clay. If you're using air dry clay, you do not need to put it in the oven, but if you are using polymer clay, you do need to put it in the oven. So once it was all cooled down from the oven, I used Apple Barrel pink paint and Liquitex white acrylic paint. So next I'm using like a glossy Mod Podge finish. I would suggest not using it on a plastic bag, but definitely go outside because it does smell really gross. Like I said, don't use the plastic bag because when I used the plastic bag, it stuck to the varnish and it kind of clung to the face. So yeah, I was like too paranoid that it would actually stick on there. So yeah, I eventually took the bag off and let it dry on its own. While I waited for that to dry, I tried to use like this white pencil thing. I eventually gave up on that and used a pen to cut out or draw the design of the star. And as y'all can see, I cut it or drew it very fucked up. I don't know why it's so hard for me to draw stars, but I can never make it like super even. But yeah, I think it still turned out really cute. Also, the material I'm using is felt. I bought this off Amazon like a while ago for $4. It's like not the best quality, but it still works. Once I finished gluing both stars together, I wanted to add like this light detail to the edge of it, and I also hot glued it. I got this lace from the Salvation Army. I definitely recommend going to like thrift stores and looking at like the craft section. I found mine closer to like the front of the store and I was like so fucking excited. Like there's like this big bag of like random stuff inside of it, and it came with like a lot of Velcro. So I don't know what I'll do with all the Velcro that was inside of it, but you know what? I know it'll come in handy one day. So like if you love crafts, I definitely suggest going to the thrift store and seeing if there's like a big bag of like random craft stuff, because if you're into crafts, it'll definitely come in handy. And it definitely came in handy with this project. It had a lot of different lace, it had ribbon, it had Velcro, it had that little white pencil thing that I showed you, some like golden thread. So yeah, I was like really cool. I was really excited that I found it. I actually really liked how the star came out, so that's why I was showing it off a bit. But yeah, I'm basically using white thread and I'm threading the needle into it. If y'all don't know, I'll try to do like a little mini tutorial of how I do it. So basically what I like to do is I like to get the end of the string and I like to wet the end of it with like my mouth just to like make sure that it's like straight and it's like easier to put through the whole of the thing. And once I get it through, I like to make it as long as possible because I don't know how much string I'm gonna need, and it's better to have too much string than to have too little string. So yeah, once I get the string as long as I want it to be, there should be 2 long strings together. So once I have the 2 long strings together, then I will find the end of the string and I will make a little loop and I will make either 2 to 3 knots. I usually like to do 2, but like if I feel like the material is too thick and I might go through it very easily, I like to add 3 little knots. So here's 1, and sometimes I do like miss it like a couple of times, so yeah, I have to redo it. But basically you want to get the knot to double itself on like the same knot. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'll show it inside the clip, hopefully. So here's a clip of me accidentally missing where the knot is. So here you can see the 2 different knots. The goal is to tie a knot onto the same exact knot that you did the first time. So like I said before, tie the knot onto the same knot 2 to 3 times depending on how thick the material is. But usually 2 knots should be fine. So I didn't show this on video, but basically you stick the needle in and you go all the way through till you hit the end of the little knot that you made. And then you go in, you go out from the other way. So it's like in, then out, in, then out. It's very cathartic and soothing. So yeah, definitely recommend. So then once you like go all the way around to like the object, you basically cut it, and then I like to tie 2 to 3 knots just to make sure that it's secure. And then once you finish tying the knots, then you can cut the excess string, and then it should be secure. And there you have it. You learned how to sew, hopefully that was helpful to anybody that doesn't know how to sew. Also, that's just like a very basic way of how to sew. That's how I learned how to sew from my old job. It may not be the best, but it works for me, and everything that I've made so far has like stuck together. And now I'm using E6000, the bane of my existence. First of all, the cap it's so strong that it glued itself together. So eventually I had to like cut it open, and it's so strong that once you like cut it open, the glue will like seal like the end of it like back together. But it does take a little while, so be careful, because I thought it had fully like dried itself together. But once I laid it like on the table, I didn't notice, but a little bit of it like spilled out and it got on my teddy bear. So like a little part of like the teddy bear is like all clumped together, just like a little bit. But whenever I feel it, I feel sad, because like it reminded me of like how E6000 got me again with its vengeance. Anyways, I'm sorry. I don't know why I have such a beef with like E6000. Anyways, yeah, definitely crack open a window or like do this outside, because it does smell and it did give me like a headache. But yeah, I'm basically like brushing the sides of it and going like piece by piece with like the fabric of the head and pushing it to the side of it. Definitely go slow with this, because this is very messy and you just like want to make sure that everything fits and it's all right. So I hyper fixated on this project. So you saw I started from the morning, and this is at 2:36 a.m. So yeah, definitely hyper fixated on it, but it was definitely worth it. So we have come to this conclusion. You want to see my doll plush? You want to see my plush? Here he is. Here is my little baby. Their name is Starburst. They are super cute. I'm in love with the way the star came out. I added like this little ribbons at the end to make it kind of look like a shooting star, which I'm glad I added. The bear is like super soft, and it's like my favorite bear now. I love it. It's like fun holding it because it's like kind of weighted with like the clay face mask, so it kind of feels real, like a real little creature, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's very cute. It does smell kind of weird because of the E6000 glue, which I'm gonna have to be very careful with washing. Yeah, I'm very scared to wash it, but I know eventually I will. Also, this plushie was from Circus Reno, Las Vegas. So I'm dumb, or smooth brain, so I don't know if like Reno is in Vegas or if Reno's like a separate place from Vegas, but it says Circus, which I know Circus is like a hotel casino place or a gambling place in Las Vegas, which a lot of people, like, I watched some videos and a lot of people say that it's very like gross, but the attractions are fun. But yeah, I think that's like very cute. It has like a little Las Vegas backstory, maybe they were from Las Vegas, they were one of the circus acts, but they got lost, or they were like tired of like the circus stuff, so they decided to move to California to become a Hollywood star instead of a circus star. But along the way they gave up on their dreams. Now they're a sad starburst bear. No, they're not sad, they're happy with me now. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to make more of these clay face dolls. It was very fun and therapeutic just sewing again. When I was working at my other job, the Happy Hollow Zoo, I had to sew a lot of puppet clothes. So whenever I made like the puppet clothes, it was just like very soothing, just like going in and out, making the little clothes for them. So yeah, I love making little details. So yeah, I added eyelashes. I don't know if I showed that or not. And then I added like these like ruffles. I added like double layer ruffles. And then I added like this ribbon with like jewel on it. Same on the other side. And then I also added double ruffles on their feet. So I don't know, I'm getting kind of guy vibes, but also they them vibes, so, or non-binary vibes, so I don't know. Maybe he's he they. I'm she they, he's he they. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and got some useful tips from it, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.